There is a moment every man faces, a silence that feels heavier than words. She goes quiet. And it's not just a pause, it's a signal, a pulse from her subconscious that most men completely misread. Nearly every man panics, tries to fill the void, says something wrong, and in that instant he tells her everything about his confidence, or the lack of it. Before you even open your mouth, she already knows. I get it, and I want you to hear this clearly. It's not your fault. Nobody taught you this. Society gave you the wrong script. You were told to fix it, to say the right thing, when in reality, silence isn't a problem. It's a doorway. And that doorway is exactly why so many men never get it. I've spent over a decade unraveling these patterns, understanding what women feel but never say out loud. My name is Luna John, and female psychology has been my world long enough to see the invisible cues that decide attraction before a word is even spoken. Today, I'm going to give you 3 hidden truths about her silence. The first one is subtle, almost invisible. The last one, almost nobody uses it. And when you do, it changes everything. Point number 1 I call the limbic pause. Here's what happens. When a woman goes quiet, her limbic system, the part of her brain that reacts before thought, is firing. It's registering danger, interest, or hesitation in milliseconds. Your tone, your energy, your presence, she feels it in her body before she feels it with her mind. That's why most men panic and talk too much. They don't realize that every word you say during her silence either soothes her parasympathetic nervous system or triggers her fight or flight. Imagine this. You're on a date, laughing, connecting, and then she stops, just stops. Her eyes drift, her smile softens, and you feel the gap. Most men dive in with a clumsy joke or an over-explanation. But here's the thing, she's not upset yet. Her silence is not a punishment. She's scanning, evaluating, feeling the vibrations of your confidence. And when you stay grounded, when you let the pause breathe, she feels something rare, something primal, safety, strength, intrigue. That dopamine spike hits quietly but deeply. She feels tension and comfort at the same time, and her subconscious takes note. Here's the kicker. Every woman has done this instinctively. You've probably noticed it without knowing why. She's testing, sensing, feeling out your energy, and most men fail the test without even realizing it. But you right now, just understanding this, you're already ahead, and that's only the beginning. Because point number 2, that's where most men lose her completely, and they never even know why. And that's where most men crumble, because they confuse her quiet with disinterest. They think she's pulling away, when in reality, she's sending a signal that's almost sacred. I call this the emotional mirror. Here's the science. Women are wired to subconsciously mirror the emotional state of the man in front of them. It's rooted in evolutionary psychology. A woman's limbic system reacts to your calm, your tension, even your tiny micro-expressions. When she goes quiet, she's not shutting down. She's watching, feeling, testing if you can hold the space or if you crumble under the pressure of unspoken tension. Picture this. You're texting and she suddenly stops replying. Most men panic. They double text, they apologize, they try to fix the silence. But a grounded man, he breathes, he lets the space exist, and he sends one confident message later. Not needy, not anxious, just steady. That difference. It tells her subconscious more about you than 100 words ever could. She feels you. She can't explain it, but she notices. That's the mirror effect. Most men misunderstand it, but you're learning to read the signals that almost nobody else sees. And here's something almost nobody talks about. She will sometimes go quiet on purpose to test you, to see if you're truly grounded, if you can be the kind of man who doesn't react out of fear or ego. If this is hitting different, tap the like button. It helps this reach men who genuinely need it. Now, point number 3 is where things get deeper. I call it the dopamine pull. When she goes quiet, her brain is creating anticipation. That little gap you feel, it triggers dopamine, the same chemical that makes chocolate irresistible or a thrill from a roller coaster. Her body is literally rewarding itself for noticing you, for thinking about you, for wondering what you'll do next. But here's the trap. Most men act too soon, too fast, too loud. They break the tension and the dopamine spike fades. You stay still, confident, and the anticipation grows. She replays the moment even if you're not together. That quiet becomes magnetic. But this is nothing, absolutely nothing compared to what comes next. Because understanding these first 3 points is just scratching the surface. What I'm about to show you next will make her quiet feel like an invitation, not a test. And almost no man ever masters this, and this is where it gets powerful. The moment most men will never see. Point number 4, I call the breath of presence. Her silence shifts when you master this. Her breathing changes without her realizing it. Her heart quickens. She replays the moment at 3 a.m., alone in her room, wondering why she can't stop thinking about you. She doesn't even know why it's happening. She just feels it, that pull, that craving for connection, that quiet heat. It's all because you held space while most men would have panicked. Picture this. You're at a coffee shop. She's talking, telling a story, laughing, but her eyes keep coming back to you. Not because you're louder, not because you're flashy, but because you're grounded. Your posture, your calm energy, your subtle attention, it's magnetism disguised as ordinary presence. Every woman notices it, every woman remembers it, and every woman feels it at a level most men can't even imagine. Most men will miss every one of these signals, their whole lives. But you're here, you're learning, you're already different. You're becoming the kind of man who doesn't just react to women. You create experiences she can't forget. This is exactly what I see in my work, in my years studying female psychology. When a man understands the power of silence, when he learns how to hold presence without desperation, everything changes. She leans in. She wants to be around you. She starts to test you in subtle ways. But this time, you're ready. Her feelings intensify. The small moments you share, the pauses, the glances, the unspoken connection, they stack up in her mind. She feels safe, intrigued, and secretly addicted to the tension you maintain. That quiet that once seemed like rejection now becomes fascination. You're no longer chasing, she's chasing in her own mind. But there is one final piece, and this one, I almost didn't include it. Because once you know this, you cannot unknow it. Once you see it, your understanding of attraction, of connection, will be completely different. It's subtle, forbidden knowledge that almost nobody talks about. And it's the key to turning her quiet into irresistible magnetic pull. Almost no one talks about this. Women feel it, but they can rarely explain it. And men who do this, women remember them for years. I call it the echo of resonance. Here's what it is. When she goes quiet, most men try to fill the space. They speak, they explain, they overcompensate. But the men who master this technique, they match her energy without mimicking it. They respond with a subtle presence that resonates with her subconscious. It's in your tone, your rhythm, your micropauses. Her brain releases oxytocin and dopamine simultaneously, pleasure and attachment combined. She can't describe why, but she's captivated. That's the echo. It lingers long after the moment ends. Let's walk through this one more time, step by step. First, the limbic pause. When she goes quiet, don't panic. Breathe, hold space. Let her subconscious scan your energy. Second, the emotional mirror. Remain grounded. She's reflecting your state. Calmness and confidence pull her in. Third, the dopamine pull. Embrace anticipation. Don't break the tension. Let her curiosity grow. Fourth, the breath of presence. Show grounded energy, subtle attention, and a magnetic calm. And finally, the echo of resonance. Respond with presence that aligns with her subconscious desires, letting attachment form naturally. Most men go their entire lives never understanding any of this. They wonder why nothing clicks, why she seems distant, why the moment never arrives. But you came here, you stayed, you learned. That alone makes you different. You're not like other men. You're the kind of man she can't forget. If this opens something in you, subscribe and turn on notifications. Next week, I'm revealing something women feel in the first 30 seconds of meeting a man. You do not want to miss that. Comment resonance below. I read every single one. And remember this, the quiet isn't empty. It's her mind speaking the language most men will never understand. You've just learned to listen.